Yo, what is up, YouTube boxing family? It's K right here. Just wanted to make one little final video before I get back to what I'm doing. Yeah, let's get right into it. I wanted to make multiple videos on this, but I wasn't able to do what I was supposed to do on the previous recording software. So this is like the brand newest one that's way better. I think this is by InShot, software. That's not the one that I use here on the bottom right. They have like their own recording software, I believe, through the same company. But this is like my little software that I use to edit like my videos or make my own little video edits. So yeah. All right, so let's get right into it. Jaime Mitchell versus soccer mom Nina Hughes. I'm not a fan of this fight, and here's why. She has no business to be in the ring with a woman that hasn't done anything in her career. I think it's just going to end up becoming like another Carly Skelly performance. Obviously, Carly Skelly, she's not that good either. She literally came off of a very long layoff heading into that fight with Jaime, and I don't think she was really ever prepared in that fight. But it's not to say that she's not a good fighter. It's just that you had zero to little experience to be in there with somebody for 10 rounds, especially like Jaime's caliber. Like, I think Jaime's only whipping on women that she's able to beat because she hasn't been in there with somebody tough, comparable to the Shannon Courtney fight, which I think Shannon Courtney, she's basically another easy victory for Jaime. But it's like, at this point, I really don't give a fuck about Jaime. This is clearly, respectful criticism at this point. But I will say that this is all bullshit matchmaking. Jaime Mitchell, for those of you that don't know, is now the WBA bantamweight champion of the world. She won it against Miss Shannon Courtney in a majority decision, which many would say it was a close fight. I wasn't really thinking it was a close fight. I thought Jaime did enough to win. And on top of that, Shannon came in overweight, so Jaime had a little bit of a size differential up against her, and she was still able to beat up Courtney pretty good. And Courtney did not come into that fight, ever focused. She is coming back in the ring on December 10th. I don't know against who, but I'm hoping it is against somebody good. I would definitely like to see her versus Diana Fernandez, but knowing that this is more of like a comeback fight, I think she's gonna fight somebody in like the bottom 50 or bottom 100. So I don't really see her really fighting somebody like super duper tough. I would even say like a woman that she probably may think is like an easy victory would be, Melissa, Odessa Parker. But I don't see that fight probably ever happening for her because, Melissa, she's a good fighter herself, and she just recently fought back in June. So I mean, she's a very heavily skilled fighter herself. Same thing with Rosalinda Rodriguez. Plenty of very good female fighters on the listing. But definitely no highly skilled level fighters. I think at worst she's probably gonna face somebody like a Eva Vorberger or Vorberger. Yeah, like I'm sorry if I butchered the name, but maybe Fatima Dudieva. I mean, she doesn't punch that hard, but she definitely has great boxing skills. But I think at this point, it's definitely fair to say that that Shannon Courtney definitely deserves to be back in the mix as soon as possible, because I think the problem was like after the Jaime Mitchell defeat, it's like, in my mind I was thinking that Shannon was going to rematch her, but I guess either she don't want the rematch or something probably happened where it ended up being a situation where Jaime was able to like walk away from the belt, or walk away with via belt. So at this point of her career, it's like there's really nothing that you could really say that makes any sense of like why she's fighting a woman in Nina Hughes that didn't earn any position to be ranked at all. And these two ladies will be fighting each other on November when will they be fighting? November 26th out in like Saudi Arabia or Dubai. I don't know where the hell they will be fighting, but I think it's somewhere out in like the Middle East. Yeah, it's out in Dubai, same day as Regis Prograis and Jose Zapata. So I'm not really a fan of this fight. This is a really garbage ass fight. Nina Hughes, for those of you that don't know, she's a 40-year-old lady. She doesn't really have that much boxing experience. I don't know if she's really a certified to begin with. Like I want to say people have touted her to have such a high amateur background pedigree, but I don't really see that to be true. I think like when we look at how she is, I don't think she's really that good. Yeah, she's only had 12 amateur fights, and throughout the course of time, it's like yeah, she hasn't done anything. But there's no disrespect on her. I'm pretty sure she does show up in her professional fights a lot better versus amateur. But when we look at the win-loss category of like who she's not fighting nobody good. She had a majority decision against Tycee Gallagher, but she's not really that good herself. She's decent, but it's like that, like, these fights don't really make you any better. Like these women are, especially out in like the Eastern European or like Western European nations, they're not putting in that work to be certified. So I don't see it to be like that until you cross over to the pond, like what people like Ricky Williams say, to face that American level talent, or to face people over here in the Americas, then that will make you certified. Because European talent, anybody could say that they're 40 and 0, but if they're not fighting high level competition over there, or at least testing themselves against international level competition, then that 40 and 0 record doesn't mean shit. That's why like people like Katie Taylor, like that doesn't impress me as a consumer, because it's like, okay, you fought a bunch of nobodies, but you fought people for titles that didn't really have that much experience under their belt. But then once you like end up going back and forth in certain weight classes, and then you get undisputed, defend your belt 8 times, but you're not going to decide to go up to higher weight classes to challenge for more heavy level opposition, then there's some funny business up there. Because it's like you're obviously avoiding the smoke at higher weight class, higher weight classes, to conquer those divisions more. I mean, that's just basically how I see it. Because if Katie really wanted the smoke, she could very well fuck around and just move up 4 weight divisions to fight Clarissa Shields, at a catch weight. They could fight at like 155 or 150, I don't know, but Clarissa, she could definitely make the weight. It's not like she can't do it. She can easily do it. But that's how people like Katie Taylor are being viewed as like, but the ultimate hype job, on their little magical high horse, to think that nobody can't touch them. And it's like, it's time to like stop looking into those European female fighters, or just European fighters in general, to say that they're the ultimate badass because they got that massive amateur record, or they're just basically touted to be like the next big thing, when in all honest reality, they're not. But as far as this fight, this is a garbage ass fight. This Nina Hughes girl, she never deserved to get a title opportunity in the first place. She is 4 fights in. She has two knockouts, which she doesn't really possess any knockout power. I mean, yeah, the Beck Conley stoppage, Beck Conley is not that good of a fighter to begin with. She's a low level journeyman. She has no defense whatsoever. She gets hit on every single exchange coming in, and she's just there to get a paycheck to get knocked out. She doesn't care about her winning, or at least fixing up your career so you could at least like have a better like outcome. But it's like she's 38 years old and she's not getting any younger, but you're taking all this brain damage for nothing. But yeah, this is a shitty ass fight, because it's like this woman has not done anything to earn her spot. And on top of that, Jaime, she did fight Carly Skelly for title defense, which Carly Skelly, she was never ranked at all in the WBA, if I'm not mistaken. But still, it's like, the whole problem with this is that, I'm going to bring up something that a lot of people don't know. But when I talked about Zarina McCoy on multiple occasions, I was thinking inside my mind Zarina should be fighting Jaime, because Zarina told me the story where she got a call from Matchroom, and Matchroom offered her to fight Jaime, and Jaime's team quickly turned it down. So by that logic, that makes you think, okay, that's a sign of ducking. But the issue is that she decided not to say anything about it, but Zarina was keeping her name active in the conversation. So Zarina basically ended up moving forward to just keep fighting fights to stay busy, which is very smart out of her, because despite that she's not able to get like the best opposition now that's put in front of her, it's like, why not take advantage of what you're doing now to go down to Mexico or wherever she's going to get fights just to stay active? Because the difference is that when you have fighters that stay active versus fighters that are inactive, that are either world champions or title challengers, what they end up doing is that they take up a lot of time off where they're just waiting on that big fight. And the issue of the matter is that you're not staying active in your career to keep yourself relevant, in the world title, conversation. So I think it's a very smart idea of what Zarina is doing, for her to still keep pushing for these fights, but still stay active in the mix. Because while you're doing that, you could also keep yourself more sharp with your skill sets. So once you already get that call to go up against like a world champion, you're already there. And I mean, Zarina does have like a world title, but it's like a secondary world title. I'm not too sure what it is, but I'll just search it up for you guys just to help you guys out. But yeah, Zarina, she is a quote unquote world champion. Obviously not in the quote unquote four major belt era, but no, she's putting in that work. She's 10-1. She won the WIBA world lightweight title, and she has a UBO belt. So that's a good win. It's good that she got these belts. Obviously, not the best opponent in front of her in Paulina Cardona, or Cardona. She's a 33-year-old woman that hasn't had the best career herself, but she gave it her best shot with Zarina, and Zarina beat her. So congratulations to Zarina, and keep on winning. Look away. She's 21 years old. That's the crazy thing about it, and with like 11 fights in her career now, heading into 12 soon. I think this is a very good move. I'm not too sure about her staying at lightweight. I think she said that she's trying to go back down to bantamweight. She said that this was like her last fight at lightweight, just simply because she wanted to probably test up, let the waters with taking advantage of like what's put in front of her. So I think in due time, it's probably best to say that she should definitely go after Jamie Mitchell if she's able to make 118. Obviously, with all that weight that she bumped up, because for those that don't know, she had her fight with Alozia Garcia, that was at 130, and then Lizeth Carolina Garcia, that was at 119, which she is a natural bantamweight. She's not really that big of a person, so she basically climbed up to like 10 pounds or 15 pounds exact to just basically get fights, just to keep herself, active. She's been basically going up and down a weight. She fought at lightweight, she fought at featherweight, and she fought at super feather. So I think probably in due time she's probably gonna go up against someone soon to I would assume she's gonna go back down to bantamweight just to keep herself in the mix a lot better. But I would say fights wise, it probably would be better for her to go up to featherweight, or definitely super featherweight. I think that's her best weight classes, because she is bigger, especially in youth with the physique. So I think physique wise, it would scale a lot better if you go up to maybe 126 or maybe 130. But either way, to each its own. Congratulations to her. Hopefully she keeps on winning and she keeps doing what she has to do. But it's definitely good that she's just keeping herself active, just to be ready for anything that's necessary to get her skill sharp. But as for Jaime, she's been out of the ring since February, heading into this fight in November. That's damn near 9 months, or basically 9 months to be exact. And you mean to tell me that she couldn't get a fight in between to stay busy, or at least fight Zarina? Because Zarina, she has all the information to share, which hopefully we'll get together soon. But that was kind of disrespectful to Zarina's end, because if you offer a potential fighter to fight for a world title in which, by the way, for anybody that wanted to know if Zarina was ever ranked in the WBA prior to that situation with her and Jaime, she actually was ranked at one point in time. She was ranked number 5, if I'm not mistaken. But I think the reason why her ranking got taken away was mainly because she decided to move up in weight in her fights. So she wasn't able to, like, ever get her placements kept there, because she probably was just like, oh, well, if I'm not going to get any call to fight nobody for a world title, then I would assume that, it's just best to just keep moving up in weight, just to test out the waters, just to see where things are going. And by all means, that's a very smart decision. But I think as far as the marketability goes, I think it's best to just kind of stick to like a weight class that you can conquer, and then do the same thing at all the other weight classes. So I think either way, Zarina, she's making a very good decision to do what she's doing on her end. But as far as on Jaime's end and with Nina's end, this is a fight that should have never happened at all. I think that, honestly, knowing that Shannon O'Connell, she was busy with having to fight Ebony Bridges for another title opportunity. I think the next best available woman would have been Rosalinda Rodriguez, who is number 2 in the WBA, and she's been waiting for her title shot for a very long time. So I don't think that fight couldn't have been, I don't think there should have been any excuse to not have that fight happen. And I think that's why that fight has been kind of not talked about, because nobody doesn't want to make any mention of Rosalinda's name, because she is a very good fighter. Don't get it twisted. Rosalinda Rodriguez, she's trained under Ada Velez, who was a former world champion herself, and a very, very great fighter. She's one of the best all-time Puerto Rican female fighters, especially in my book. Very, very skilled, heavily intelligent in the game of boxing. But yeah, she trains Rosalinda Rodriguez, and Rosalinda has a very, very good style. Very destructive, orthodox fighter. She's like a combo fighter in a way. Knows how to box, knows how to bang, has a great educated footwork and defense, and she does her thing. Obviously she is getting up there in age herself, but she needs her shot right away. But yeah, she was number 2 in the WBA bantamweight rankings, and she was never given her opportunity at all to get a world title shot at all. And it's very disrespectful, because I also have more evidence where she said right here, where she told me in this comment, where she got contacted to fight Yolahan Luna, where she was the WBA, well, she's now the current WBC champion, and she was basically offered a low, fight purse with no TV time to fight her. So basically she wasn't able to get her opportunity officially to fight her. But by that logic, by its own sentiment that she made, it just makes perfect sense that women are being corrupted way more than men, or they're probably on the same level, if not worse. But either way, it's it's all messed up altogether, because if you're gonna be arguing for the sake of sanction bodies to keep existing in the sport of boxing, then you have to be consistent to say that sanction bodies need to start aggressively matchmaking the challengers with the champions, and then all the ranked contenders need to face each other to keep their spot, because that's how the UFC does it. The UFC keeps their challengers active, but you're not going to just be blowing through easy competition. No, you're going to be going up against deadly opposition. You're going to go up against some guys that want to knock your head off and actually take your career down, i.e. women that want to take you out and go blow for blow, with you, in a highly anticipated war. So I don't see how boxing cannot be like that, because, it's very disrespectful to the fans that come out to your events and pay all this money, but it's you're not going to give us anything in return. That's just pure thuggery, and it's absolute retardation. But either way, my whole thoughts on this is that this is a shitty effing matchup that should have never happened in the first place. And like I don't know how the WBA allows this, because it's like the WBA has been around for the longest time period in boxing, predating to 1923. Yeah, 1923. I was about to say 1918 for like a minute, but yeah, 1923. Hold on, I'll just look this up. When was the WBA founded? The WBA founded. Uh, it says it was 1962, but no, technically it was made in 1921. My bad. So yeah, 1921, but it was changed to the WBA in 1962. So it was actually called at one point it was called the NBA, which that's what, I wouldn't obviously be advocating for the state to get involved to have a sports league in that manner, but the NBA, the National Boxing Association, was the original organization that was made before the WBA took over as its very first ever, internationalized sanctioning body here in the United States. So yeah, that's how the WBA was made, by Gilberto Mendoza. Well, Gilberto, Mendoza, he's probably been around for a long time, but whoever made it in 1921, I forgot the founder, that was like the original creators for the actual sanctioning body that was evolved as the WBA that we call today. But originally it was actually the NBA, the National Boxing Association, which in all honest reality, when you think about it, with the actual NBA, National Basketball Association, if boxing was ever converted from its crazy ideas over to basketball, football, baseball, hockey, to have sanctioned bodies act as sports leagues, I think everybody can be fair to say that people would probably end up killing, each other over those sports, to the point where the savage cycle will end a lot quicker compared to boxing. Because at least in those sports, you can't really get away with that, because people have already evolved so much from those sports where they know that the corruption is there. But it's like, why would you want to have corruption exist in that time frame where people were already divided and nothing got done? So that's why, when you marketize those leagues to the point where the state doesn't get involved as much as people say that they do or they need to, because that's really how these issues keep on reproducing more, is that the state keeps getting involved. So that's what ends up creating more chain linked monopolies and whatnot, and corporatized firms that end up backing certain political factions. But either way, when it comes to that level, that's why you need to decentralize markets, and markets will start to flourish a lot better for the sake of its own expansion, to grow as a better organization. But with the WBA's existence, they are definitely unjust. It's very biased of how they move as an organization, because they've been around for quite the longest, damn near pretty much almost like 100 years to be exact. 1921 leading up to 2021 or 22, heading into 23. That's pretty much like 102 years heading into 2023, because that would be 2021 and then 22 and then 23. So 102 years in the making, but they haven't done jack shit for the sport. But that's pretty much it, man. I'm not for this matchup. This is a garbage ass matchup. I think people should understand that this is how sanctioned bodies need to be. Well, this is the reason why sanctioned bodies need to be taken out of the sport. And this shit should never be sanctioned by any means necessary. So to hell with this matchup, man. Jamie Mitchell should be facing Rosalinda Rodriguez. She's been waiting the longest to get her shot, and I think Rosalinda would defeat Jamie, in my honest opinion. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I'll see you guys later. Let me know what you guys think about this whole debacle, and I'll definitely get you guys up to date with me and Zarina. We're supposed to get together soon, but she's been busy, so I can't blame her, man. So until we see each other soon, then we'll definitely get it going sooner than later. All right, so I'll see you guys later. Thank you guys. Peace out. Salutes on the mighty LDBC and TWT. I'll see you guys later. Peace out, family, and goodbye.